She is learning Italian. In between the power walks and the weightlifting and the sourdough bread and the experimental pasta dinners and the care of 3 cats named after television characters and a white Samoyed who reportedly eats chef-prepared human-grade food, Taylor Swift, in the first month of her marriage, is learning Italian. No album announcement. No stadium tour. No press circuit. No awards show. No carpet appearance. No cryptic Instagram that launches 1,000 Swiftie theories. Just Italian lessons. And bread. And power walks with her husband, who is the most famous tight end in the history of professional football, currently in his 14th season, currently wearing a mustache as a tribute to his head coach, currently arriving at training camp in Missouri on a private jet with golf clubs and a massage table. This is married life. This is what the morning after the greatest wedding in recent memory actually looks like. Not the 5-story glowing trees and the Paul McCartney performance and the Dior gowns and the gold books. Not the sweep you off your feet kiss. Not the purple lights spelling just and tea married in the rain. The morning after all of that is sourdough, Italian recipes, swimming laps, weight lifting together, 3 cats adjusting to a Samoyed, and Mrs. Kelce, who has been Taylor Swift for 36 years, learning the language of the country that gave the world pasta. A source told the Daily Mail, the British tabloid that seems to have a particularly active line into the Taylor Travis domestic universe, that things are going very well. The specific words used, Taylor said she was happier than ever now that she is Mrs. Kelce and says their married life has been blissful so far. She is a blissed-out wife who is focusing on the simple things in life. Blissed out. That is the word chosen. Not busy or productive or professionally engaged or strategically positioned for the next era of her career. Blissed out. The word of someone who has found a frequency they want to stay on for a while. And the simple things in life. Cooking, baking, working out, the pets, the person she married, when he is home, the person she married, when he is at training camp in Missouri, through the phone call that has been their bridge since they were on opposite sides of the planet during the Eras tour. Baby, how are you doing? I love you. Some people get a vitamin drip. She gets this conversation. This is the complete portrait of the first month of the Taylor-Travis marriage. And there is more inside it than the headline version suggests. Let's go inside. There are 5 living beings at the Taylor Swift residence during any given day in August 2026 when Travis Kelce is at training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri. 3 cats. 1 dog. 1 person learning Italian. The cats, Meredith Grey, named for the lead character of Grey's Anatomy, adopted in 2011, a Scottish fold with the resting expression of someone who has seen everything and is underwhelmed by it. Olivia Benson, named for the Law & Order, SVU detective, adopted in 2014, a Scottish fold who has appeared in music videos and advertising campaigns and who is, by most estimates, the most commercially successful cat in the history of pop music. And Benjamin Button, named for the F. Scott Fitzgerald story and the film adaptation, a ragdoll cat adopted in 2019, who has the specific energy of a large, soft thing that needs to be in the center of any room it enters. 3 cats who have been extremely famous in their own right for years. 3 cats who have had merchandise designed around them. 3 cats who have been photographed and analyzed and who have their own fan accounts. And now there is the Samoyed. Officially confirmed in the Daily Mail report. Kelce's white Samoyed, the outlet says, attributing the dog to Travis rather than to both of them, which is interesting, though whether this reflects actual ownership arrangement or just one way of describing a shared pet is not entirely clear. What is clear is that the Samoyed, the fluffy white Arctic dog who appeared in a gold-framed photo on the wedding corridor wall at Madison Square Garden, and who was photographed exiting Taylor Swift's private jet with Travis in West Palm Beach, and who reportedly eats human-grade food prepared by a chef, is now officially part of the Daily Mail's accounting of the Taylor-Travis household. The cats, presumably, are conducting their assessment of this newcomer with the specific energy of 3 cats who have had exclusive domain over a space and must now reckon with the presence of a large white enthusiastic animal who wants very much to be friends. Samoyed personalities are well documented. They are social. They are warm. They want to be near their people and near other animals. They are described by breed enthusiasts as the dogs most likely to convince a cat that dogs are, actually, fine. Whether Meredith Grey and Olivia Benson and Benjamin Button have reached this conclusion is not known. But the process is happening. In real time. In whatever home Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce inhabit. And in the kitchen of that home, Taylor Swift is cooking. Specifically, Italian food. The source to the Daily Mail described her experimenting with Italian recipes and learning the Italian language to go along with the cooking. This is such a specifically Taylor Swift thing to do that it barely requires analysis, but let's do it anyway, because it is genuinely wonderful. Taylor Swift decides to experiment with Italian food. This is not, she ordered Italian takeout. This is, she found Italian recipes, she has been working through them, she is learning the craft of making the dishes rather than simply consuming them. She is doing it with the same thoroughness she brings to everything. The person who re-recorded 6 albums to take back her masters, who builds a garden in an arena for a wedding, who sends a necklace back when someone sends a thank you note. When she decides to do a thing, she does it. And she is learning the language. Italian lessons, apparently, alongside the Italian cooking. The connection is obvious. You learn to make the food more authentically if you can read the recipes in the language they were written in, if you understand the specific words that describe textures and techniques and the particular way that a sauce is supposed to behave when it is right. You learn the language because it is part of respecting the thing you are learning. She spent 20 years learning English inside and out, finding the perfect word for every feeling, building a catalog of songs that has redefined what precision in popular music looks like. She is now learning Italian. In her kitchen. In the first month of her marriage. Because she has time, and a kitchen, and a person who will come home from training camp and eat whatever she makes. There is also the bread. She bakes bread. This is not new information. Taylor Swift's sourdough habit has been documented, and in the New Heights podcast episode in August 2025, she talked about the funfetti sourdough she makes specifically for Jason Kelce's daughters because they love sprinkles. She put sprinkles in the sourdough because the girls love everything rainbow. That detail, the funfetti sourdough, the sprinkles, the specific attention to what 4 little girls love, is one of the most humanizing details in the entire 3-year public documentation of this relationship. Now she is baking bread in the context of marriage. Not as a special occasion thing. As a routine. Part of the daily texture of life in the Taylor Travis household, alongside the Italian experiments and the power walks and the weightlifting. The working out. Let's talk about the working out. Because this is, among all the details in the Daily Mail report, the one that reveals the most about the specific nature of this partnership and why it works the way it works. The source said, she and Travis work out every day. They know their careers demand that they are in top shape, so they work out together. They were mixing it up with power walks, swimming, and weightlifting. They work out together. Both of them. Every day. Because both of them understand that their careers require their bodies to be performing instruments. Both of them. This is the "we basically have the same job" phone call from the Wembley documentary Made Physical. He performs on a football field. She performs on a concert stage. Both of these things require physical preparation, endurance, the ongoing maintenance of a body that will be asked to do demanding things in public for extended periods. Travis Kelce, at 36, maintaining his fitness for his 14th NFL season is an obvious professional necessity. The man has to catch passes thrown by Patrick Mahomes, run routes against defensive backs who are a decade younger than him, take hits from people whose job is specifically to stop him. He needs to be physically ready in a way that is not optional. Taylor Swift's fitness requirements are less obvious to someone who has never thought about the physical demands of a 3-hour concert. But anyone who has watched her perform, who has watched her run the length of a stage, dance choreography that would challenge a professional dancer, sing 44 songs in the span of a single evening while also managing multiple costume changes and set pieces and technical elements, understands that the Eras Tour was one of the most physically demanding things a performer has done in the history of live music. She has spoken about how seriously she trains during tour cycles, running while singing full phrases to maintain her vocal performance under physical exertion, building the specific endurance that allows a 3-hour show to feel, to the audience, effortless. And so they work out together. Power walks, swimming, weight lifting. 2 people who have both spent their careers taking their physical preparation seriously, doing it side by side, in the same time of day, in the same space. The shared discipline. The mutual accountability. The fact that when one of them wants to skip the workout, the other one is right there not skipping it. There is something about working out together that is different from working out separately in the same house. It is a shared language. It is the physical equivalent of what they described on the Wembley phone call, that she and Travis both have teammates, both have coaches, Both operate in performance-driven professional contexts that require preparation. Working out together is acting on that understanding in the most literal possible way. Side by side in a weight room. Laps in a pool. Power walks through whatever neighborhood they inhabit. Together. Daily. This is also the foundation on which the football season will be built. Travis Kelce is heading into his 14th year, a year that Chris Carter, his longtime trainer, his Hall of Famer, described in an Instagram post as the last dance. Whether it is actually the last dance or not, Travis himself has been careful not to confirm. He said he doesn't want a farewell tour. He said he is still in love with the game. He said, "Let's make another run at it, baby." But the body that will make that run is being prepared in August, in these daily workouts, with Taylor Swift beside him. The body that will wear a Chiefs uniform on September 14th against the Denver Broncos in the first game of the season. That body is currently lifting weights and swimming laps with his wife in whatever house they are sharing before he has to be in Missouri. Let's talk about the training camp dynamic. Because it is an important part of this story that the simple domestic picture of their married life exists in tension with a very specific professional reality. Travis is not home all the time. He is not going to be home all the time for the next several months. Chiefs training camp opened on July 29, 2026. Missouri Western State University in St. Joseph. The 16th consecutive year the Chiefs have trained there. The same facility, the same routine, the same combination of heat and physical exertion and football installation that has preceded every season of Travis's career. He arrived there on Taylor's private jet from West Palm Beach, Florida, carrying golf clubs and a massage table, with his longtime friend Ross Travis beside him. He showed up to the field wearing the El Travador look, buzz cut, mustache, Andy Reid tribute, and reported officially as a married man for the first time in his 14 years of training camps. And during the days when he is in Missouri at camp, the picture at home shifts. It is Taylor, and the cats, and the Samoyed, and the sourdough, and the Italian recipes, and the Italian language lessons, and presumably the workouts, though perhaps slightly more swimming forward when the lifting partner is on the other side of the state. And the phone calls. The phone calls that have been the connective tissue of this relationship since the beginning. Since the Eras tour, when Taylor was in a different country every week and Travis was playing Chiefs games in Kansas City and they were bridging the distance through the phone. In the Wembley documentary, the phone call she took backstage before going out to perform. "Baby. The vitamin drip. Why do you have to be in the NFL?" The phone call she made from the car immediately after the show, happy and relieved and almost forgetting how to play guitar. Those phone calls are still happening. Different context now, not a backstage call before 90,000 people, not a post-concert call from a car. Maybe a call while she is waiting for the bread to rise. Maybe a call from the pool. Maybe a call from the couch with the Samoyed pressed against her side and one of the cats on the armrest. He calls. She picks up. "Baby." Some things do not change with the addition of a wedding ring. The source to the Daily Mail also described the concept of nesting. The couple has been nesting with their pets. This is the specific word used by people who have observed a new pair of humans doing what new pairs of humans do when they have recently formalized a commitment. They make a space feel like theirs. They arrange and cook and acquire and settle in ways that signal, "This is our place. Not my place where you also live, or your place where I stay. Ours." Nesting, in this context, involves the cats and the Samoyed. It involves Italian recipes and sourdough. It involves the daily workouts that are both professional maintenance and shared time. It involves the specific ordinary acts of two people building the domestic texture of a life together. This is not a narrative that generates many headlines. There is no dramatic event in it. Nobody won a raffle. Paul McCartney did not break a 62-year performing silence. The Dior gowns are presumably in a preservation box somewhere. The gold books have been closed. The sweep-you-off-your-feet kiss is a memory now, a felt thing, one of the most recent additions to the very long archive of specific moments that this relationship has generated. The headline version of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's first month of marriage is, "They are happy. They are cooking. They are working out. They are learning languages. They are tending to pets. They are doing what people do when they choose each other and then have to figure out what that choice looks like on a Tuesday morning." But the story inside that headline is richer. It is the story of two specific people, Not the generic newlywed couple of a gossip magazine spread, but these two specific people, making specific choices about how to use the time they have. She bakes funfetti sourdough because she knows Jason Kelce's daughters love sprinkles. She is baking sourdough now as a married woman, in a kitchen that is now also Travis's kitchen, applying the same attention to the process that she applied to the bread she made for nieces who love rainbow things. The bread is a form of love. It was love when she made it for the girls. It is love now when she makes it in the context of building a household with the man she married. She is learning Italian. Taylor Swift, who has spent her entire career inside the English language, who writes in English with the precision of someone who has considered every option for every word and chosen the best one, she is learning a new language. Not for an album. Not for a tour. Because she is making Italian food and she wants to do it right, and doing something right means understanding it properly, and understanding Italian cooking means understanding Italian. The same instinct that drove her to re-record 6 albums. The same instinct that drove her to perform the Eras Tour 149 times with complete emotional commitment every single night. The same instinct that drove her to design a wedding with a custom Dior gown and gold books and a Paul McCartney performance and a garden inside a basketball arena. The instinct toward doing the thing fully. She is doing married life fully. She works out every day with her husband. Because both of their careers require their bodies to be instruments. Because they understand this about each other in the way that only two people who have both spent their lives in performance-driven fields can understand it. Because doing it together is the best version of doing it alone. She pets the cats and the Samoyed in whatever configuration the animals have negotiated among themselves. She answers the phone when he calls. Baby. She makes bread. She experiments with pasta. She exists, somewhere, in a house, as a woman in the first month of her marriage, learning Italian. The source said she is happier than ever. Happy is a complicated word for someone who has spent 20 years writing songs about complicated feelings. Happy is not an emotion that Taylor Swift's catalog has always been fluent in. It has been in there, certainly, in the joyful moments and the love songs and the specific albums that are about warmth rather than devastation. The Life of a Showgirl was the fullest expression of it yet. The album described as coming from the most infectiously joyful, wild, dramatic place she had ever experienced. And now, a month into the marriage, the report is that she is happier than ever. Happier than the Life of a Showgirl place. Happier than the album about arriving. Happier than any reported point in the 36 years that preceded the July 3rd ceremony at Madison Square Garden. Because the ceremony was the beginning, not the end. Because the 5-story trees and the gold books and the sweep-you-off-your-feet kiss were not the happy ending of a story that is now over. They were the opening chapter of the chapter that matters most, the ordinary one. The Tuesday one. The sourdough and Italian lessons one. The workout together one. The calling baby from a training camp in Missouri one. The most famous woman in popular music is in a kitchen somewhere, learning a language, baking bread, tending to a Samoyed and 3 very famous cats, and waiting for the phone to ring. And when it rings, she picks up and says, baby. And some people get a vitamin drip. She gets this. Stay close. Because the season starts in September, and when it does, the story of what this marriage looks like alongside a 14th NFL season begins in earnest. Taylor Swift cheering from a suite in Arrowhead. The gold ring visible on Travis's hand as he makes a catch. And somewhere, between the games and the training and the Italian lessons and the bread, a quieter story being built than any they have lived in public before. The simple things. Blissful. Mrs. Kelce. And happier than ever. That is the story. Not the one with the cameras or the headlines or the leaked memos or the Dior gowns or the golden lights in the rain. The other one. The one happening in a kitchen somewhere between now and September, with sourdough in the oven and a new language on her tongue and a Samoyed watching from the corner and 3 cats conducting their ongoing assessment of the whole situation. The friendship bracelet led to a podcast. The podcast led to a first phone call. The first phone call led to a Kansas garden and a ring. The ring led to a secret garden in Madison Square Garden. And the secret garden led to this. Italian lessons. Power walks. Blissfully, completely, fully here. The next era is being built in a kitchen. Stay with us.